SCP-027, the Vermin God. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The host of SCP-027, currently Subject 02702, is to be kept in a 5 meter by 5 meter containment cell with a graded raised floor connected to a strong vacuum system. All creatures removed from the subject's containment cell are to be incinerated, except for a small portion to be diverted for analysis and necropsy. The cell is to be cleaned and inspected for structural damage daily. Subject 02702 must be monitored by at least 2 personnel at all times. Any unusual behavior or vital signs on the part of the subject or the appearance of any unusual species in the subject's vicinity must immediately be reported to Level 4 personnel. Security personnel assigned to SCP-027 must be inoculated against all known animal-borne pathogens, and must be armed with tranquilizer guns, with standing orders to subdue the subject if the need arises. Until SCP-027 is better understood, no personnel of Level 4 clearance or higher should approach within 200 meters of the subject. Description: SCP-027 appears to be a phenomenon of unknown source that seems to be tied to one human subject, currently SCP-0272. At a time, as host to SCP-027, subject 02702 is constantly surrounded by swarming vermin that are drawn to his location. The subject does not appear to be able to assert control over these creatures in any way, and is in fact prone to occasional attacks from feral specimens. These creatures are also known to attack personnel who approach too closely. Wherever the subject goes, an initial swarm of flying insects such as gnats and flies will start to form a cloud around him, usually within 2 or 3 minutes. Shortly thereafter, crawling animals, including lice, cockroaches, worms, spiders, mice, and rats, will begin to appear. The longer the subject remains in a location, the more vermin will gather there. When the subject leaves the location, some of the creatures will follow, but most will disperse. SCP-027 has been known to transfer between hosts once. Upon the death of the first known host, SCP-02701, since SCP-027 could likely repeat this feat upon the death of Subject 02702. All high-value personnel should be kept far away from the current host until more about SCP-027 is understood. SCP-027 has likely transferred between hosts an unknown number of times before containment. Research into potential previous hosts has commenced, with preliminary evidence suggesting that SCP-027 may have existed for at least years. It is not yet known how SCP-027 chooses or attracts animals, or even what SCP-027 exactly is. The previous host never expressed having any sort of communication with a separate conscious entity. Analysis of the current host has been inconclusive at best. Appendix Number 1. Timeline of Significant Events 04-1990. Subject 02701 is discovered in an abandoned warehouse outside that had been completely overrun by rats, cockroaches, and other vermin, and is contained and catalogued as SCP-027. The subject is described as a Caucasian male in his late 30s, his average height, but gone filthy, and covered in bites and scratches. The subject also shows symptoms of degraded mental health, evidence of heavy use of alcohol and illicit drugs, and signs of prolonged sleep deprivation. 10th, 2000. Subject expires. Autopsy shows more than 70% of the subject's body. A colony of rats nesting in the subject's abdomen for at least generations. 10th, 2000. Between 140 and 150 hours after the subject's death, security officer reports being awoken by breathing problems due to a large housefly having crawled up his nose, later shown to have laid eggs. Subsequent observations lead to categorization of Officer as Subject 02702. The original host is reclassified as Subject 02701, and SCP-027 is redefined.